I'm joined once again by the Bellator lightweight champion. It is Brent Primus joining me here on the program. Brent, how are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. It's good to talk to you, and it's been a while since we've seen you in the cage, doing any interviews, anything like that. Of course, you won the title at Bellator NYC. I was there, cage side. How's life been as the champ since you won the title? Because this is a huge milestone for you.
Yeah, man, it's been great. I've really just been hanging out, training, and hanging out with my family. I just had a boy, and trying to enjoy as much time with him as possible. It's been great. He's the man. I hate leaving him, and I love coming home to him. So yeah, it's been pretty cool.
How's fatherhood sort of made you adjust your training schedule and everything like that? Has it been much of an impact?
Not too much right now. If anything, I'll watch him in the morning. I'll drop him off at his grandma's house, and then go train all day, and then come pick him up at nighttime, or my wife will. So it really hasn't got evolved or messed with my training schedule really too much. The sleeping a little bit, but it's been great. I love the little guy. It's awesome. Yeah,
it's great too. We were just talking off air. I had a son back in September, and they get so big, and it's really it is a life changer, as they say. So and I'm sure you're getting sick of people being like, oh, guess you're not getting enough sleep. Like, I'm tired of all that stuff now. It's like, just let me be a parent, for God's sakes, So that's sort of how it goes. But of course, you won the title for Michael Chandler, and Chandler was he suffered an injury in that fight, and we talked about this off air as well. I felt that a lot of people weren't really giving you the respect as the champion. Now, once you won the title, what was Bellator telling you, weeks after the fight, leading up to what was going to be next for you? What were sort of they telling you at the time, after you won the title?
Well, right after I won, I heard that he was injured, and they're like, it's going to take some time, so we're going to let you know when he's healed up and ready. So you might have to fight Pitbull or somebody else by the time he gets healed up. And so I was like, all right, yeah, just let me know. And then before I fought, Michael Chandler, I told my manager in Bellator that I want to take like a month or two off to be with my wife while she's pregnant and when she has the baby, is our first kid. And so that's what's happened. And then like a week or two after we fought and I won the belt, I got a call and asking if I want to rematch in October-ish. And I said, I'm down to rematch him 100%, but I want to spend like a month with my baby and my wife, help around the house while she has a kid. So I'm down to rematch him in December. And they're like, okay, we're going to push for that, and we're going to try to lock that in then. And so I was like, all right, cool. And so I was waiting, for months or whatever, and I never heard anything about December. So I thought I heard I was going to fight in, January. And then I got a text from my manager saying, the rematch is on, you're fighting Chandler January 26th in the Pachinga Casino in California. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's do this. And so as soon as I usually get that call, I usually get the contract within, the next morning. And like 6 days later, I still didn't get the contract. And I called my manager. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, I don't know. I'm going to call him. I'll call you back. And then he called me back and said that Chandler didn't want the rematch. He totally declined the rematch and wants to fight at 170 in the same month. And so I just thought that was so weird. I could not believe it. I was in shock. I was already kind of game planning and getting our game plan ready for our rematch or whatever. And then I find out that he's fighting at 155. He's fighting Yomiyachi or whatever. And what's his last name?
I think it's Yamauchi. I might have butchered it as well. I was only laughing because I butcher it as well too. So I'm not giving you a hard time about that. But yeah.
All right. But, and so then I found out that he's fighting him in January, and man, it just totally blew me away. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. And then what was even crazier is I heard that, he did an interview and he's telling everybody that I'm running from him and I didn't want to sign the contract. And I just think that is absurd and craziness. Like, what is this guy coming from? Where's he coming from? And then everybody's believing him, man. Like, everybody will believe anything Chandler says, dude. That guy will tell everybody the sky is green and he shits rainbows, and everybody will believe him. It's crazy to me. So, but I was wanting that rematch just as bad as anybody else was wanting to watch it. I want to redeem that I wanted all the controversy. I wanted to shut all that down, and it's just a crazy thing. Chandler could have fought me for the belt, and he's fighting somebody else at 155. So it's crazy. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and I didn't like the way this was covered. I talked about this sort of with you as well. Of course, you had, you did get the, your quote in there on MMA fighting with Guillermo Cruz. I saw you had that on there and sort of, explaining your side of things. But then Chandler gets this huge platform on the MMA Hour, and he's calling you a liar, and he's saying all this. And here's one quote I wanted to sort of bring it to your attention, which, I kind of am a little confused by. He says, I was asking to fight him. Bellator wanted to make the fight. You can't force somebody to fight. The thing I don't get about that is Bellator could force you to fight. Could they not strip you of the title? We saw this with the UFC where, Jermaine Durandamine does not want to fight Chris Cyborg. They stripped her of the title. I'm sure Bellator could have done the same thing. In Bellator's interest, Chandler's sort of this big star. I'm sure they would have wanted, a situation like this. So to me, it doesn't seem like a situation where you're refusing to fight him because Bellator could strip you of the title. Is that sort of, does that quote make any sense to you?
It doesn't make any sense to me, and I can't believe people actually believe that. Just like you said, I'm the champion. I fight who Bellator tells me to fight. I fight the best guys. I fight the money fights. Who's going to make the most money for Bellator? And they wanted me to fight Chandler, and I said, okay. I can't deny that. I can't say no. I don't want to fight him. Give me somebody else. I want an easier fight. Just give me a bunch of 2-1 guys so I can just make millions of dollars. That's just insane to me. I'm going to fight the best guys who Bellator wants me to fight. And that was Chandler, Scott Coker went on the MMA Hour, I think, or did an interview months and months ago, and when Pitbull called me out and said, no, Brent is fighting Chandler. He's not fighting anybody else besides Chandler. And that's what was happening, I was going to fight Chandler, and Chandler is literally the guy that chose to fight somebody else. And it's crazy to me. And, what even sucks more is I'm the champion. You think that I would have some kind of say who I'm fighting, but really – it's Chandler. Chandler has 100%. He got to choose who he fought, and he declined me. So it's just crazy how it is. I know he's earned his respect in the cage many times. He's a warrior, for sure. But at the same time, I'm the champion now. I beat him, and I feel like I should have a fight before he got a fight. So it's just crazy, man. It is what it is, I guess. But maybe I just gotta get some more fights in there and earn my respect, so I can get my say like Chandler does.
Yeah, and it's been crazy a bit too. You're a big underdog going into the fight. Nobody likes to see a fight end the way it did with you and Chandler, where he was injured and stuff like that. But you were doing well in the fight. Like, it just seems to me that people aren't giving you any credit, and this situation is proof of that, where everyone's taking his side on it, and they're not really hearing what you have to say. And to me, it's just very puzzling as to why he wouldn't let you. You just had a boy, and first time dad. Asking for some time off, I don't think that's too unreasonable. What if you were injured? Would he be saying the same thing? Probably not. So to me, it's not much of a difference there. And your son was born in August, so it's completely understandable that you need a full training camp to fight a guy like Chandler. It's not smart if you said, okay, well, I'll do this while my wife's taking care of our son. It just wouldn't make sense. So I kind of understand you on that end, as far as needing time to prepare for Chandler.
Yeah, it's crazy. I definitely wanted time to spend my wife and my baby, for sure, 100%. I was so excited to become a dad, and that was definitely my top priority. But it's crazy because they asked me to fight Chandler in October, and then I kept on hearing rumors that he's injured and he's not healthy. And then they said on the I can't remember what Bellator event it was, but it's not that long ago, like a month or two ago, they said that he's still injured. He's on the shelf. He hasn't got the doctor's clear. And so I was like, that's just weird that they asked me to fight him in October if he hasn't got the doctor's clear yet. So I definitely thought that was crazy for sure. But man, it is what it is. I don't know. It's crazy. And what's another thing that's weird is like this guy Ben Egley, who's like the welterweight champion of King of the Cage, did this whole video. The same exact thing happened to him. He got kicked in the nerve, and it caused foot drop, and he couldn't move his whole leg. And it's literally the exact same thing that happened to Chandler. And if anybody's out there, you guys should go to Michael Chandler versus Brent Primus, foot drop, nerve injury firsthand. Just go to that YouTube and look at that clip and tell me that Chandler rolled his ankle after you watch that. You won't. You cannot tell me that Chandler's rolled his ankle. And another thing is, like, I really wish that fight didn't end like it did. It really sucks that it did. I wish the referee would have let us continue on. And I had, 4 more rounds to kick that leg of his and to mix it up and look low, go high. And, man, I was about to mix it all up. And it's an unfortunate thing how the fight stopped, for sure. But at the same time, like, I literally was – everything that happened was – I was training for 3 months. Like, game plan to a T. It happened perfectly, and like I told a couple of people, like, the game plan, it happened too good. It happened way too good for what it's supposed to, like, that low kick, he comes in throwing that really hard, fast right hand, and it's powerful, and it's crazy. So I knew when he does that, all of his weight is on his lead leg, his front leg, and that's where that kick came in hand a lot. Not only it's a low kick, but it's really hard for him to check, and it kills the nerve, and then I can also get the sweep from that low kick. And that was that. And then also when he comes in and throws that right hand, my other game plan was to throw my switch kick and kick him in his arm over and over and over. And my knee was supposed to catch him in his chest. And if you look at it, man, he did throw that cross at me. And I threw that switch kick, and my knee landed perfectly right in his chest. He even went back and did his little step back thing a couple times. But like I said, man, the game plan worked to a T, 100%. It worked too well. It really did.
Just a couple more things. I just want to get some clarification. So the fight they offered you was in October. You didn't want to take that in October just because of the baby thing, or would you have taken that? What was just want to clarify that for sure.
Well, honestly, like the fight in October, I didn't even take that as a fight. I just literally like, went one ear and out the other. I was so focused on my family, but not only that, like people don't know that, man, I walked into that fight injured. I had a torn cartilage, a separated rib. I tore my MCL like 3 weeks out of that fight. And so I literally could not train. I could not grapple or spar 3 weeks out from that fight. And I remember walking into that cage, and I knew that I could not go to the ground. My rib was so messed up. My knee was so, I could hardly bend my knee. So I knew that I had to keep it standing up and do our game plan. We were warming up in the back before I went out and fought Chandler. And my Fabiano, my jiu-jitsu coach, was like, let's work on some arm bars and some triangles and just some getting up from your guard. And as soon as I laid down on my guard, my rib popped out, and I was like, oh my god. This was like 5 minutes before I fought Chandler. And I was like, oh man. And that was definitely a crazy thing, just walking into fighting Chandler, all that on my shoulders.
Huge card, yeah.
Really sucked. It did suck, and so that was one thing that I told my manager. I was like, man, after this fight, dude, I have to let my rib and my knee heal, and I also want to be with my baby. That's like my main concern. And so I really wanted to tell everybody about the injuries too much, but man, I walked in that cage pretty beat up, man. It was probably the worst that I've walked into a fight ever, for sure.
So to clarify, you wanted to spend time with your family. Understandable, you had the baby in August. You also had some injuries you were dealing with. So ideal situation would have been January. I mean, I don't think it's that unreasonable to say, hey, let's wait a few months. We'll do it in January. We'll get the best for the fans. I mean, nobody wants to see a rematch where, one guy's going in injured, or they're not 100%, or maybe not 100% focused, like you said, with the family. So I don't think that's an unreasonable request. I really don't. So why he's taking this fight kind of brings me to my next question. Do you think he's trying to get out of Bellator? Do you think that's why he's taking this fight? So, because if he's the champ, it's a lot harder to go over to another organization when you're the champ of the organization.
That's the only thing I can think of, man. Like I've been thinking about it for a long time. I was like, man, he literally could have fought me for the belt instead of somebody else. And I was like, okay, it's either he's scared, who is scared in this game? Like, Chandler's fought so many guys, like, that's just hard to believe to me. But at the same time, he might not be scared of me, but he might be scared of the outcome of the fight. He might be scared of the loss. If he takes another loss from me, it's gonna be really hard for him to get another title shot, especially if I go out there and kick the crap out of that leg again and the same thing happens. He's not gonna say he rolled his ankle twice. And and I really wouldn't doubt him. I doubt it if he did say that and everybody believed him, because, man, I think this guy's he's like God in MMA. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. So what was the question?
Oh, no, sorry. No, I was just asking. Sort of. Do you feel like he's angling to go to the UFC? That's why he's not fighting for the title.
Oh, yeah,
he's taking this other fight, and then maybe he's trying to get out of his contract.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting at. I could say that he's either scared of me, but I mean, I really don't think that's it. I really think that he may be at the end of his contract. He has one more fight, and so they don't want to do like a Will Brooks thing and have him come and fight for the belt and maybe win it and then go to the UFC or whatever. So that's the only thing I can think of, man. Maybe he's like on his last, has one more fight in his contract, and that's the only thing I can think of. I have no idea what's going on, and it's crazy, man, because, man, I was wanting that rematch, and I was really had an awesome game plan for sure.
Now, it looks like you're going to be fighting Patricky Pitbull next, as far as the next contender, because he just got that big win. How do you feel like you match up against him? And yeah, just sort of your thoughts on that matchup.
I think I match up great. We were supposed to fight a while back, and I'm not sure really what happened, but yeah, we were supposed to fight a while ago, and I think it's going to be a great fight, man. Patricky, he's a fighter's fighter. He's a gritty dude, and I know for a fact that if I go out there and beat him, or if I kick him in his leg, the same thing happened to him. He's a martial artist. He's a warrior. He's not going to make up some excuses and say he rolled his ankle and hide behind the instant replay and all the fans, So I definitely think that Patricky is definitely a fighter, man. He's a fighter's fighter, and he's not going to go out there and play games and make up stories and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to be a good fight, and he's got I think he's got good hands. His boxing's really good. He's dangerous. You got to really move your head and have good footwork and good distance. So again, the same thing. I'll go to my coach Oyama and all my coaches, and we'll think of a good game plan for him, and we'll go out there and get the W for sure.
Have you talked to Bellator since they announced the Yamauchi fight?
Yes, I've talked to him a couple times.
Okay, and so it sounds like Pitbull is next, and are you trying to aim for January? Any sort of dates you can let us know of, or is there anything in the works right now?
I don't have a date right now. I'm actually supposed to find out today.
Okay.
If I'm fighting Pitbull for sure and the date. So I'm pretty sure I'm fighting Pitbull, but I'll find out today and I'll find out the date, and I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I've been freaking fiending to go in there and defend this belt. So, man, I cannot wait.
Excellent. And no other opponents. It sounds like Pitbull's at the top of the list. I mean, he has to be. You got a huge win over Ben Henderson.
Yeah. There wasn't another guy that they mentioned, but I talked to Bellator yesterday, and from what it sounds like, it's going to be Pitbull.
Okay, good stuff. Well, we look forward to that update. Before I let you go, and again, Brent, I really appreciate the time. What are your plans for the holiday season? Do you get to enjoy a little bit at all, or are you going to be basically in fight mode once this sort of fight is actually announced?
It really just depends on the dang contract, man. Like, I really shouldn't have eaten Thanksgiving. I shouldn't have eaten all the things because I thought I was going to be fighting in December. So it's just, it all depends on the contract. And I love Christmas and I love to eat, pie and all that stuff. But I'm hoping I get a fight so I can just, starve and watch everybody enjoy their food on Christmas.
So hold on, you just mentioned potentially that you thought you were fighting in December. Was that sort of in the works? Oh, I guess this was the Chandler fight that you were talking about, that you were told that you're going to be fighting?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I thought I was, but yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you didn't even so you even met him halfway and said, "Hey, I'll fight in December instead of January." That's interesting.
I told them as soon as they told me if they asked if I want to fight in October, I said, "No, I have to spend time with my baby. I have to let my rib heal. I'll fight him in December. Let's do it in December." And I thought 100% we were going to fight in December. They told me, "Okay, you're going to rematch in December," and so I thought that was going to happen. And then, like I said, my manager called me. He's like, "No, you're going to fight in January now." I was like, "Oh, sweet. Okay, let's do it in January. I can eat in Thanksgiving." And then they called me 6 days later and said he literally denied the rematch. He's fighting somebody else, and I thought he's fighting at 170 because I thought it was gonna be a super fight, So I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but why would he fight that when he could fight me for the belt? And then I found out he's fighting at 155, and it totally I am in shock. I literally have no idea what's going on.
Well, I hope this all gets sorted out. I hope you end up getting the fight you want, Brent. Again, thanks again for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we sort of got your side of the story here. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, you can catch me at Brent Primus 155 and Instagram and Twitter, and definitely my sponsors, Bad Boy. They all hook me up. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much. And Roots Organic and Don's Plumbing and Big Kahuna Bowls and thank you guys so much. I wouldn't be able to do it and, live the dream I am without all you guys. So thank you guys so much. And thank you, James, for having me on.